heading over to Canada, folks. As usual, it's the real estate. People over leverage. People borrow too much, and this is an interesting one tonight. Canadian insolvencies accelerate, hit the highest level since 2009. So insolvencies are hitting 2009 levels again. Where is it here? I just saw it. So we are looking at, right there. So we're seeing insolvencies hitting 2009 levels right here. Why? Why 2009? Why is 2009 so special for Canada? Because in 2009, we were supposed to see the collapse. We were supposed to see a reset in Canada in 2009. And what happened? Well, the 2010 Olympics happened in Vancouver. And what happened? Well, Canada felt it was a good idea to open up its doors to Chinese money laundering, to bring in trillions of dollars to make housing unaffordable for the locals. So instead of seeing a correction, wages and incomes tied to real estate prices, nah, we don't want that. Let's drown the Canadian proper in debt. Let's lower interest rates to 0%. Let them compete with money laundering from China. Let's destroy the Canadian family. And there it is right here. Canada wants more Chinese workers, students, and tourists, the immigration minister said. They were quietly bringing in 500,000 per year. You were not seeing that on Canadian statistics. You look at Canadian statistics and say, I don't know what you're talking about, Mike, but it's only showing like 10,000 Chinese coming in a year. They are coming in as investors, so they're not coming in as migrants or immigrants. So they are coming in as investors, people. So they're not being counted through this the typical Canadian immigration stats. So 500,000 per year are coming in. They bring money and lucrative. They're very lucrative in students and workers, where Canadian families cannot get jobs. Because the Canadian family's job is to basically build the bank. The Canadian builds the bank so the Chinaman can come in and work in the bank. Because the Chinaman won't build the bank, right? And let's just keep going here. Let's just keep going. Sorry, guys, I'm having camera issues here tonight, guys. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. So there you go again, our famous article here. So these are the billions of dollars laundered by province. That's from 2011 to 2015. So you guys could see that it actually ties in to what I'm telling you guys here with the timeline. And we told you guys that, and then what happened? Canadians, homes are new ATM machine, people borrowing too much. And this was in Canada 8 years ago. Canadian housing debt is growing, using homes as ATM machines. We were warning you guys, major Canadian household crisis. Canadians using housing disaster, people using homes as ATM machines, over leveraged to the max, over and over. Look, people are broke. So what would happen? What happened? People couldn't afford to buy food in Canada anymore. So what were they doing? They were using their lines of credits. They were using the lines of credit in the equity in their homes. Now people are complaining, oh, we can't afford to buy food now. We just can't afford to buy food. You couldn't already afford to buy food back in the day. You couldn't afford already to buy food back in the day because you were already using credit cards to buy your food, right? You're already using credit cards to buy your food, and that is the mistake you were making, thinking you're using the money and on the coattails of your house using that equity. Let's keep going. And here we go, 25,000, and what did that lead to? Artificial shortages, right? So here it is, 25,000 vacant homes. Let me open this up for you guys a little bit here. 25,000 vacant homes in Vancouver, causing artificial shortages and homeowners wealthy on paper. 8 years ago. Vacant home crisis, CCP money laundering. 1 in 10 homes are vacant. That was 6 years ago. Now like 1 in 3 homes are vacant. Vacant home pandemic is growing across Canada. Money laundering, CCP destroying Canada 8 years ago. Massive homeless invasion to hit every city. Vacant homes. Emergency. Canada, US, Australia, New Zealand, and UK. So this created artificial shortages, making homeowners wealthy on paper and making you broke. And Ottawa plans, remember this? This ties into our timeline. Ottawa reveals plans to welcome 500,000 immigrants per year. These are not immigrants. These are migrants that are coming in. Now, by 2025, 500,000 per year. Why? Because no one could afford to get into their own real estate markets here in Canada. People cannot afford to get into their own housing anymore. So they have to bring in 500,000 people a year to fix the housing market that the Chinese created. Now, the Chinese, it looks like, don't quote me on this, but do your research. It looks like the Chinese are behind funding the migrant centers, because the Chinese are funding our politicians with corruption. But they're also working on the migrant centers to bring in more people to destroy us. Yeah, the Chinese brought in the fentanyl. Fentanyl only comes from China. It's not processed in Canada. And we told you about the fake fentanyl busts. And this is where we're at. We are sitting ducks here in Canada, and I don't know why people just are not seeing the bigger picture so we can actually do something about it. Hey, I'm creating the awareness. Hey, guys, it's me. I'm not getting paid to be here, and nobody likes me. But maybe listen to what I'm saying. It might make some sense sometimes, right?